अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मैं हूं राना मोहम्मद इकबाल और आप देख रहे हैं रियल एस्टेट इनसाइट विद राना इकबाल। मैं रियल एस्टेट ब्रोकर भी हूं और बिल्डर भी, इसलिए मैं लेकर आता हूं रियल एस्टेट इनसाइट आप लोगों के लिए। आज का प्रोग्राम नाजरीन बहुत अहम प्रोग्राम है और आज हमारा टॉपिक है प्री कंस्ट्रक्शन। आज हम प्री कंस्ट्रक्शन में जितनी तेज़ी के साथ, बल्कि रियल एस्टेट में जितनी तेज़ी के साथ चेंजिंग्स आई हैं, तो उस एस्पेक्ट में प्री कंस्ट्रक्शन की चेंजेस के साथ मार्केट का ओवरव्यू डिस्कस करेंगे कि 2021 में मार्केट ने किस तरह से इम्पैक्ट किया और आगे मार्केट किस तरह से इम्पैक्ट करने जा रही है या किस तरह से मार्केट में इसका इम्पैक्ट हो सकता है। फिर हम इसको डिस्कस करेंगे कि प्री कंस्ट्रक्शन में हम क्यों इन्वेस्ट करें, इससे हमें क्या फ़ायदा हो सकता है और डिपॉजिट स्ट्रक्चर, एक अच्छा डिपॉजिट स्ट्रक्चर किस तरह से हमें बेनिफिट दे सकता है। इसके अलावा हम 905 एंड 416 के एरिया के डिफरेंस को भी डिस्कस करेंगे, क्योंकि रियल एस्टेट में लोकेशन बहुत अहम होती है और ये दो लोकेशंस में आपस में किस तरह से डिफरेंस है और कहाँ हमें इन्वेस्टमेंट करनी चाहिए और क्यों करनी चाहिए, इसको भी हम डिस्कस करेंगे रियल एस्टेट में। इसके अलावा हम असाइनमेंट क्लॉज को डिस्कस करेंगे कि असाइनमेंट क्लॉज क्या होती है और अगर आप असाइनमेंट क्लॉज पर अपनी प्रॉपर्टी को सेल ना कर सकें तो उसका वे आउट क्या हो सकता है। ये और ऐसे बहुत से दीगर सवालात हैं जो आम तौर पर हमारे व्यूअर्स के जहन में होते हैं और वो एक दूसरे से करते हैं। कुछ क्वेश्चंस आपके जहन में होंगे, कुछ क्वेश्चंस नहीं होंगे, लेकिन अगर आप हमारा प्रोग्राम आखिर तक देखेंगे और जुड़े रहेंगे तो आपको बहुत मुफीद मालूमात हासिल होंगी जो आपकी फ्यूचर इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए, या अगर अभी आप थिंक कर रहे हैं बाय करने के लिए या इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए, तो उसके लिए आपके लिए बहुत सूदमंद और नफ़ा बख्श साबित हो सकती हैं। इस मौजू पर और बहुत सारे दीगर सवालात पर गुफ्तगू करने के लिए आज हमने जिस मेहमान को दावत दी है वो एक्सटेंसिव एक्सपीरियंस ही नहीं रखते, बल्कि प्री कंस्ट्रक्शन में रॉयल लिपिड सिग्नेचर के प्रेसिडेंट भी है, वेरी रिनाउंड, वेरी एक्सपर्ट इन प्री कंस्ट्रक्शन, जेफ सिलेगाथम। वेलकम टू द शो जेफ। Introduce yourself to my viewers.
Hello everyone, I'm Jeff Slidham. I'm the Vice President of Roy LePage Signature Realty and I manage and President of our new construction division. I've been in real estate now for almost 20 years. We have a family business. My brother and I are business partners and it's been an amazing time for real estate, as I'm sure you see it in many of the headlines. And I'm honored to be here today with Rana. Rana, congratulations on a phenomenal year in 2021, a Diamond Award winner, one of our top performers across all of Royal LePage Canada. So congratulations to you.
Thank you very much, Jeff. As we know that the real estate market was very hot this year and pre-construction is no exception. Would you tell us that how pre-construction market is changed throughout the year?
That's a great question. You know, there's been many variables and many different things that have affected our market right from January 1st, where everyone, the condo market, the resale condo market was slowing down a little bit. Funny enough, at the end of 2020, and as soon as 2021 hit, it really started to pick up, and demand across the board on all types of real estate became very strong. And then on the new construction side was another avenue for people to invest and to purchase real estate, whether it be as an investment vehicle or end user. So you saw many more people getting interested in real estate and looking to purchase real estate, and new construction became, and condominiums of all across the Greater Toronto area started to really catch the eye of many people. With that said, you know, with the pandemic, we know that there are supply chain issues. There's a lot of pressure on labor costs. So labor costs were going up. Supply chain, again, simple things, some things that you think were simple, like drywall and things like that, that you need to put these major buildings in place, were all slowing down and getting more expensive. I think many people heard lumber costs drastically went up, and a lot of these costs are passed down to the purchaser. So you find these costs of real estate naturally increasing at an increased pace. So there you saw value in the cost, what we look at it in the real estate realm of things, the cost per square foot when you're looking at new construction, where you may have seen the cost starting at the beginning of the year around $1,100 to $1,200 a square foot on average. you saw it jump very quickly to say 12 to $1,400 a square foot. And the main reasons, again, overall cost of labor and cost of material. And so the developers have to protect themselves because they want to deliver a product to you, to all the purchasers. And in order to make that viable to them, they have to obviously make sure their costs are in check as well. So it got very interesting as the year went on, and as things wrapped up, we're starting to see prices now slow down a little bit, but they did continue to appreciate, and now we're seeing prices in the neighborhood of $1,300 to $1,500 a square foot across the GTA.
All right. So what do you think, like the one aspect is price change in labor and the material. So are we expecting to drop the prices for the material and labor in near future?
That's a great question. I mean, a lot of top economists are saying not to expect that as costs continue. As you know, inflation is hovering above 4% these days. You're not going to see costs come down. Lumber costs, I know, have come off a little bit in terms of one specific material, but a lot of the other prices you don't see material costs, you don't see prices come off or come down too drastically, and labor costs as well have only increased, and labor costs to readjust, again, you don't see those costs coming down, so it's going to be harder and harder for these developers to make adjustments on their pricing. And as we know, these developers want to build a great product and run a very viable business. So their role and their job is, and you'll see from building to building, even if buildings are in the same neighborhood, prices tend to go up project by project as time goes on.
Yeah, that means no hope to dropping down the price.
No, you don't see prices going the other way. And again, I touched on economists. Economists are saying, and this is a bit of a shock to all of us. We were speaking to a very high-level economist last week, and they're saying prices will increase upwards of 20 to 40% over the next 2 years. Okay. So it's going to, if you think it's expensive now, just wait over the next 2-year period. It's going to get more expensive.
So I have a straightforward and very important question.
Sure.
Should someone invest in pre-construction, especially people believes that the prices are too high and not affordable?
Great question. My mindset has always been, as long as you are a long-term viewer of this type of asset, of real estate, and you're willing to hang on to the product, I'll call it, of real estate for a longer period of time, it depletes the amount of risk drastically. So if you're looking to buy quickly, or not buy quickly, but to buy and then sell, either to assign it, they call it, or prior to the project is finished, to sell your unit or to sell it as soon as it's finished to make a slight profit, those days I wouldn't say are gone, but are fewer and far between now. Where now the goal is to purchase and to hang on to this for future generations. So my suggestion is, to hang on to real estate and to be a long-term holder of it. I mean, as you've seen over the life cycles of real estate, yes, the market goes up and down, but inevitably, when the market does readjust, the downturn even far exceeds the last major downturn that we may have had. I hope that makes sense. And so you're seeing now that as long as as long as you're willing to hang on it for a long term, whatever the price may be, whether it continues to rise or it feels, oh gosh, this is really expensive, it is only going to continue to head in that direction. It's only going to get more expensive. So if you buy now, know that it's only going to cost you more later.
Because Jeff, I know that in especially 905 areas or the Mississauga, Brampton, Oakville, Burlington areas, we were able to buy the properties somewhere around $500 to $700 a square feet.
Sure.
But now it crosses the $1,000 and
Easily,
some places
yes.
more than $1,100 per square feet. So what is the main reason why there's too much pressure on the condominium or pre-construction market?
That's a great question, and strictly there's a few reasons, but obviously demand, the security of real estate. Real estate is known to be a very secure investment, where you compare it to something like the stock market, which lately has, over the last year or two, has only gone up as well, but real estate has always been something, that asset you can touch, you can feel, you can go and see it. So that interest in that security encourages people and that sense of security encourages people to invest their funds, their assets into a vehicle, into an investment vehicle like real estate. And in areas like Brampton, Mississauga, there are areas like that are really, there's not enough real estate, unfortunately. They have the land, but they don't have the homes necessary for the sheer demand for people to live. So in order to appease that demand, well, builders and developers are showing up and putting product there. So, and hence with the strong demand and limited supply, clearly prices are going to continue to increase. And so the idea is to get in sooner. Again, my previous point, get in sooner rather than later before prices continue to rise.
So do you think like someone should invest now, because like we can we can see that in a future pre-construction market will go more high?
Yes. I would say, should you invest now? My concern is the longer you wait, yes, the more expensive it's going to be. We don't see any major shifts in the market coming anytime soon. There's no real reason right now for the market to make any major adjustment. So again, getting in ahead of maybe the up curve as prices continue to rise, then yes, I would say now is a very good time to get in the market. But again, nobody has that crystal ball. Nobody knows when the market could make a shift. But right now, I think is a great time.
Jeff, great. I was expecting the great answers you are giving me because of your experience, extensive experience in pre-construction.
Thank you.
I would you touch a little bit 2-3 more aspects, like the government is going to go with a 1.4 million, almost to 400,000 immigrants every year. Next 3 years, 1.2 million people will come in the market. And will it make some like impact on pre-construction? And also, secondly, we see that the semi-detached or townhouses are extremely expensive at this moment. So the difference of the pre-construction condominium units or pre-construction apartments and the semis or townhouses, what do you think? Like it will keep the prices high, or how you see this?
Exactly, you make a lot of great points there with immigration, and that was a lot of the product. I call it the condo launches this past year that I attended. That was a major talking point. Was the increase in the number of new Canadians coming to Canada and needing a place to live. So, and there's not enough homes to appease the hundreds of thousands of people that will make the Greater Toronto Area home. So the demand, again, with that, increased demand, the current demand that cannot be satisfied, and the increased demand that, again, will need to be satisfied. Again, there's not enough homes to rent. There's not enough homes to buy, right? So again, generally speaking, real estate is only going to continue to get more expensive until we can catch up with the inventory issues we have right now. We do not have enough real estate available.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. You know, Jeff, I have an experience, first time in my real estate life, that people are bidding on rental properties as well, especially like in a Mississauga area or the downtown area. And during the COVID, the pandemic, downtown areas, there were no tenants available. But now it's going into a bidding market. There are multiple offers on rental market. So is this the reason prices are going more high?
Yeah, exactly. So again, I think there's not enough homes for people to live. So if they can't purchase something, they have to rent. They need a roof over their head. So they have to rent. They don't have a choice until they're able to find something. And so I heard an interesting stat too the other day, which I thought it just never really came to mind. If you can imagine the number of new buyers entering the marketplace on a monthly, daily basis that are looking for a home to purchase. A new home buyer does not relinquish a home. So it's not like somebody who is selling a home who's either upsizing or downsizing. Well, with that family or person selling, that puts supply back on the market. If it's somebody new to the market, they're not adding supply. They need supply. So again, with new Canadians, new immigration, new people coming to Canada, it's it's again, and new first-time home buyers, that supply issue is just getting squeezed tighter and tighter and tighter, where the rental pool is shrinking because we need more supply, and a lot of the new construction is supplying that rental pool. So we need it. And so hence the security around the investment of purchasing new construction. If you choose to be an investor or an end user, there's always going to be that demand for it, for at least for the foreseeable next 10 years, just for the sheer number of people that are going to be moving to the Greater Toronto Area. And you brought up a point before about semis and townhomes, the demand for semis and towns. There, again, as prices increase so drastically, it is becoming, unfortunately, townhomes and semi-detached homes and detached homes are becoming, to a certain extent, unattainable because they're just being so expensive. So people are, well, you know what, I want to live in this neighborhood, but I may not necessarily be able to afford a home here, but you know what, I can afford a 3-bedroom condo in this neighborhood. And the children can go to school, to a great school in the neighborhood. They can still enjoy all the great amenities of that neighborhood and the amenities not only of the neighborhood, but that the condominium provides. You know, they have gyms and kid play zones now, and all these business centers, and all these great things, swimming pools, you know, all these great things that a condominium has to offer. And it's just now, I think buyers are having to think about a little outside of the box. Well, maybe I won't have a home, but I'll have my home. I won't have a detached home or a townhome. I'll have a condominium. And I think buyers now are becoming more and more comfortable with that reality.
Great, you are absolutely right. Jeff, if someone decides to go to invest in a pre-construction or buy for himself or herself, so what deposit structure, what do you think, what is the importance of deposit structure?
That's a great question, I think, and this is what is another great attraction to new construction, why so many people are interested in it. It is that deposit structure. You're not required to, when making the purchase, like on a resale purchase, to have a substantial down payment. The deposit structure is spread out over the life of the development process. So these projects take approximately 4 years to complete. So the deposit structure is spread out in payments up to 20% over a 4-year period. So initially, it's usually about 5% in the first 30 days, a further 5% in another about 180 to 365 days, and then a further 5% in almost 420 to 520 days, and then the last 5% due on occupancy.
Okay, great. So I have another question related to the deposit structure. You know, sometimes I see that, or I receive the emails of some builders, they offer monthly basis, $2,000 per month, $5,000 per month, $3,000 per month. And what is the difference? The renowned builders or decent builders, they don't offer these kind of things. So which kind of builders they offer this kind of deposit structure?
It's a great question, right? And I think a lot of it pertains to the project itself. And I think what's very, I don't want to use the right, I want to make sure I use the right words here, but they're stretching it out, which will enable more interest in the project. If you can stretch out a deposit structure into smaller amounts over the similar period of time, over approximately 3 to 4 years, but in smaller amounts, a lot of times purchasers can digest that, where you're not writing those large checks for those deposits in more, yes, it may be more spread out, but smaller amounts over a period of time. Again, it's just all how it's perceived and what the purchasers maybe are more comfortable with.
That's great. Deposit structure, some builders have more easier deposit structure, some builder has very strict deposit structure. This is, the difference between the deposit structures. So would you let us know about the builder, how the builder can impact on our investment? Because let's suppose the 2 different builders, why should I choose this builder over that builder?
That's a great question. I think there's a lot of little things you need to look at when it comes to the project, and you have project A, project B, and 2 different developers. obviously we touched on the deposit structure. The deposit structures may adjust slightly. One developer may try to make their deposit structure a little more enticing, lesser payments, maybe spread out over a longer period of time. Another thing you have to look at too when looking at two different projects are obviously the developers. You want to look at their track record. If it's a newer developer, they don't have, maybe they haven't even completed a building before. This is their first project. So then you have to look at that as well and their experience as a developer. You want to know, have they delivered units previously? I mean, you can simply go to Google reviews. There's a lot of great Google reviews out there, right? And to take a look at, right? But again, what it really comes down to is the reputation of that developer and customer service, right? A lot of times, some developers are not as friendly, and when they deliver the unit, there may be a lot of what they call deficiencies, a lot of things that are not quite right with the unit. And great developers will continue to show up on a daily basis until it is right. Until the product, their product that they're delivering to you is perfect. And so that's one thing you want to look at as well. And one thing that as yourself and I can attest to, we've worked with a lot of developers and we can help steer clients in the right direction.
Okay. So we know that location is a significant factor in real estate. So what do you think? What is the difference between 905 and 416 areas?
That's a great question. It's really coming down to, especially where prices have gone. And it used to be, if you want maybe, especially when buying a new construction condominium and buying off a plan, you say, I can't afford maybe buying a unit in Toronto. Let's look in the greater outside and into the greater Toronto area of the 905s. But prices now have really almost caught up to Toronto pricing now, just by the sheer cost of construction and the sheer demand. Prices in Toronto, you're seeing prices now hover around 1,500 to 1,700 a square foot for new construction. In the 905 areas, you're seeing around maybe high 12s, 1,300s a square foot. However, that's still, again, I don't want to say it's expensive, but that's just the cost it is to purchase now. And it's really coming down to, where do you want to live? What's your choice? The real estate has become in downtown Toronto, there is basically none left, right? It's becoming harder and harder to squeeze in another tower into the downtown core and into central Toronto. So developers now, to continue their business, they have had to look elsewhere and into the 905 communities. And I can tell you in 2021, there's going to be some fantastic opportunities in the 905 areas where developers now have partnered with the townships and the cities to build, right on top of GO stations, to make it so convenient for transportation. Developers and owners of these massive plazas and malls are now putting condominiums in their parking lots, right? So in terms of being close to retail and all these great things, and to have a community at your doorstep, developers are having to think outside of the box and partner with malls and the cities to put buildings in great locations.
Great. In terms of 416 area, downtown or Toronto areas, we had a little bit, I would say, bitter experience with the rental units during the COVID.
Yes.
And we may expect another wave of COVID or another disaster, maybe or may not be.
Yes.
But what do you think in that, if we, in that case, still we should invest in Toronto areas?
That's a great question. As we came through the last kind of downturn of COVID, where the number of cases were becoming lower and lower, you found that people now are like, wait a minute, things are okay, right? And so people weren't too keen on communal living, and now there's been a big uptick and people came back. And I think there's been through that, we've all learned that, as long as we keep our distance and we follow the guidelines and do proper things, communal living is okay. Living in a condominium is okay. So I don't see there being, if there is an uptick again with the new variants and things like that, I don't see there being any kind of downturn in the multifamily product of a new condominium. And my feeling is the people that chose to move to outside of the core of the city have done so already. There may be a few still left to saying, you know what, this next downturn, forget it, I'm out of here, right? This next uptick in cases, I'm out, I'm done, I'm moving outside of the GTA. That'll be fewer and far between now going in the future.
Great, very, impressive. I have to conclude my program, and I wanted to talk to you more longer, and I want to take your more time, but we can go with next episode.
Love
I
it.
have one last question.
Please.
About the assignment clause. Most of the buyers or investors, they buy their properties in pre-construction, or they invest based on the assignment clause. So would you let us, our viewer, know that what is assignment clause, number one?
Yes.
If they gonna stuck with the assignment clause at the time of selling or the position time, what should be the way out, how they can get out from the assignment clause, or how they can close their property? What should be the impact?
Great question. The ability to assign is where a developer adds a clause into the contract that states that you are able to sell the contract prior to the completion of the building. There are parameters that developers put in place where the building has to be a certain percentage sold and usually a certain percentage complete. So once those two things are in place, you then can sell the contract itself. And that again alleviates risk, right? So if you're a purchaser and throughout the life of the development process, over the 4 years, things change. You've moved out of the city, you're not going to move into this unit anymore, and you need, your best interest is to sell that unit. The assignment clause enables you to do that. And at that point, hopefully the property is appreciated in value, and then you can essentially, benefit in that profit in selling that unit beforehand. But again, you can do that. If there is a profit, I think that's great. But again, there is still some risk involved. I always say I'm a big fan. I am personally a long-term holder of real estate, and so I think that's really where you win at the end of the day, is having the ability to complete the sale and own real estate for a long, long time.
I always suggest my clients, don't sell your property, make it 2 from 1.
Yes.
If you have one condominium apartment, hold it for a year or 2 and make it another property with that property. How? People can contact me and I can tell them how.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jeff.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Wonderful information you provided to my, or you gave to my viewers, and it's an awesome and very, very, great discussion.
I hope they found it informative.
Yeah, it's a very beneficial to me and all the viewers as well.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate your time. You spare time for us. I know you are very, very busy guy. And I would say thank you very much. And now I have to go with to my
Of course. Thank you, Rana. It's great to be here.
नाज़रीन, ये था हमारा आज का प्रोग्राम। हस्ब रिवायत मैंने बहुत ओपनली क्वेश्चंस पूछे हैं जेफ से, और जितना जेफ का एक्सपीरियंस है और जितनी इनकी डेप्थ नॉलेज है, उसके रेफरेंस से मैंने वो क्वेश्चंस जो आप लोगों के जहनों में थे वो पूछने की कोशिश की है। अगर मैंने कोई क्वेश्चंस मिस किए हैं और आपके जहन में कुछ सवालात हैं, तो आप मुझे बराह रास्त कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं, मुझे फ़ोन कर सकते हैं, मुझे ईमेल कर सकते हैं, और हम कोशिश करेंगे कि एक और एपिसोड लेकर आएँ जिसमें मज़ीद वो मौज़ूआत और वो टॉपिक्स जो हमारे रह गए हैं उनको भी इसमें कवर किया जाए। देखिए, ये एंड ऑफ द ईयर है, दिसंबर का महीना चल रहा है, और इस वक्त जो है प्री कंस्ट्रक्शन की डिमांड जो है वो फ्यूचर में बढ़ने के चांसेस बहुत ज़्यादा हैं। तो बिल्डर्स के कुछ प्रोजेक्ट्स ऐसे हैं जो अभी अवेलेबल हैं और हम उससे फ़ायदा उठा सकते हैं। अगर आपको प्री कंस्ट्रक्शन में इन्वेस्ट करना है या अपने लिए कुछ बाय करना है, تو آپ مجھے کانٹیکٹ کر سکتے ہیں. میں VIP پلاٹینم ایکسس بروکر ہوں اور میرے بہت سارے ریناؤنڈ اینڈ گڈ ڈیولپرز کے ساتھ جو ہے وہ تعلقات ہیں, اور ہم لوگ جو ہے ہمارے پاس بلڈرز کے ساتھ ایکسس ہوتا ہے, تو ہم آپ کو بہت اچھی ڈیلز دلوا سکتے ہیں. ایئر اینڈ کی کچھ ڈیلز اگر ابھی آپ لینا چاہیں تو یقینی طور پر فیوچر میں آپ کو اس کا بہت زیادہ فائدہ ہوگا. اور جیسا کہ میں نے آپ کو پہلے بھی بتایا کہ میں بروکر ہوں اور بلڈر بھی ہوں, تو میں خود بھی ہاؤسز بلڈ کرتا ہوں, کسٹم ہاؤسز بلڈ کر کے سیل کرتا ہوں, اور انویسٹمنٹس میں بھی کام کرتا ہوں. آپ کو اس حوالے سے بھی اگر کوئی کوشچن ہو یا آپ کسٹم ہاؤس اور انویسٹمنٹس میں انٹرسٹ رکھتے ہیں تو آپ مجھ سے رابطہ کیجئے اور مجھے ای میل کر سکتے ہیں, مجھے فون کر سکتے ہیں. تو میں امید ہے کہ انشاءاللہ آپ کو سیٹسفیکٹری آنسرز دوں گا اور آپ کے ساتھ ڈیٹیل 1-on-1 ڈسکشن کر کے آپ کے سوالات کو ایڈریس کروں گا. پری کنسٹرکشن بہت اچھی سائٹ ہے, اس میں انویسٹمنٹ کرنے سے ہیزیٹیٹ نہیں کیجئے, اور آپ کو کوئی بھی کوشچن ہے تو آپ مجھے کر سکتے ہیں. یہ آج کا پروگرام امید ہے آپ کو بہت پسند آیا ہوگا. اگلے پروگرام کے ساتھ انشاءاللہ پھر حاضر ہوں گے. مجھے دیجیے اجازت. اللہ حافظ.